Nick speaking, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be looking at Harlequins, the last Elite's choice, having a look at the learning curve. So yeah, one of my most favourite Elite's choice, possibly my most favourite unit in the Eldar Codex, the Harlequins. Now my Harlequins that I've got here, these are the old models which I got second hand. I didn't paint them up. I have 20 of the newer original models, but I haven't got those painted yet, so that's why they're not on camera. That's the Death Jester there. Everybody recognise him. He looks quite similar to the new one, but the new one is much bigger. Then this guy here I use as the Troop Master, which is him. And this guy here, although I don't actually know who he is, but I tend to use him as the Shadow Seer, just because it's easy for me to recognise that he is the Shadow Seer. There's a couple of unusual guns in this unit as well, which I use for fusion pistols, just again to mark the models. But okay, so let's have a closer look at this unit. Now in 5th edition I did incredibly well with my Harlequin list. 30 Harlequins starting point, a couple of Pathfinders, 3 Wraith Lords. Worked really well. I didn't actually lose a game, not a single game in 5th edition. 6th edition it's slightly different. That Harlequin list, it doesn't really work, it needs some tweaks to it. But the actual Harlequin unit itself potentially has got slightly better in 6th edition, even though there have been some significant changes. So the first significant change really is to the Shadow Seer, this guy here. Now the Shadow Seer, previously the Veil of Tears, you were unable to target the unit unless you got close. The special rule, you had to throw to see how far you could see them basically. That's gone now. The Shadow Seer gives you stealth and shrouded special rule, which although initially sounds not as good, because now you can target this unit from a distance, in actual fact it's still very good, because even though they can be shot at, if you're in cover with your 5+ cover save, you get +2 for shrouded and you get +1 for stealth, so effectively you have a 2+ save. Throw in the Farseer so you can re-roll that save and you're looking pretty good as long as you have terrain. In the open they have their invulnerable save, but of course the special Veil of Tears rule won't protect them there, so you are going to have to be a little bit more careful. You can go to ground, of course, that will give you your 3+ save, cover save, but of course that means you're fixed there. Next turn you can't do anything. So ideally now you're going to need some covering units to go in front of the Harlequins to give you that cover save, so that you can get your 2+ save in the open without having to go to ground. In terms of the upgrades, Harlequin Kiss, best piece of war gear that you can give these guys. So yeah, give them all Harlequin Kisses. That will give you rending, which is AP2 in 6th edition, so exceeding Howling Banshees here. Okay, they haven't all got power weapons like Banshees, but when they do hit and they get those 6s through, especially with the help of the Farseer and Doom, those 6s AP2. So yeah, Terminators, etc. These are deadly really to them. Strength 3, but they do have Furious Charge, so Strength 4 on the charge. They're high initiative, initiative 6. They've got a good weapon skill 5, so you'll be hitting on 3s and you'll be wounding on 4s on the charge from most units. And of course if you throw in Doom, you can re-roll those, get all those 6s in, rending fantastic. So very good in close combat. They also have hit and run, which is very useful. Obviously you don't want to be hit and running in when it's in your turn, but in your opponent's turn if you hit and run, and then you can re-assault the next turn. They have fleet, so you are going to be able to re-roll your run and assault dice, and alongside that they have flip bout, so they ignore terrain when they move. So even though you're going to be in terrain to get your cover saves, you're actually going to be quite quick moving out of it. 6 inches, and then your 12-inch assault where you can re-roll the dice. Couple that of course with hit and run, and actually this unit is quite fast moving across the board. I mean, I've done it myself. Last turn I've moved 6, well, obviously 5th edition I fleeted and then I assaulted, and then hit and run. You've got your 3d6-inch movement for hit and run. I've been right across the board and contested on an objective when I've been absolutely miles away from it. So don't underestimate the speed of these girls and boys. Don't know if they are girls and boys, I think there might be a mixture. Okay, so fusion pistol, potentially. I mean, I used to always have it in 5th edition because there's obviously a lot more vehicles. The thing you have to be careful is they're only 6-inch guns, so to get that mounted you've got to be within 3-inch, and of course if you do explode it then you've got a good chance of killing yourself, you know, actually killing the unit. But it is a hidden gun in there, it could be useful, it's nice to have. So yeah, I'd probably run with at least one of those, although I'd probably go with 2. The Troop Master, power weapon guy. I never used to have this one in my old army list, just because I needed the points for other stuff. But I think in 6th edition now I would say yes, take him. Having that power weapon as well as the rending, very useful. So I would go for that. I'd go for the Troop Master. Death Jester, a must. Gives you just 24-inch shooting range. It's also pinning, which is quite useful. You can pin your unit, a unit that's coming towards you. Very, very useful. Very annoying. That was the other thing. In my 5th edition list I had Pathfinders, they were pinning. Had 3 Death Jesters, they were pinning. Had 3 Wraith Lords with Eldar missile launchers, each one of those pinning. It's like pinning check, pinning check, pinning check. You know, it annoys people and gives you a good chance of them actually failing their test. So yeah, don't underestimate the Death Jester either in that unit. In terms of mounting them in a Wave Serpent, again, a bit like the Howling Banshees, like we said before, very, very difficult because they can't assault from it. The Banshee Bomb, which is where you used to have 5 of these mounted in a Vulcan, that again isn't really usable. So you're looking at putting these guys on foot, so you're going to need a maximum of 10, and you're going to need a covering unit to have in front of them, whether it be Guardians, Storm Guardians, Dire Avengers, whatever you're going to be having. And ideally you'll want Farseer support, either with the unit or at least close by, so that you can get them having fortune, because even 2+ save, as all those Terminator players will know, a 2+ save isn't that great. You can still throw a lot of 1s. You have to be slightly careful with here, there's a lot of characters in the unit, so you know, watch out for your challenges. Obviously you've got to be a little bit careful where you place your characters, as well from shooting. They are obviously particularly vulnerable to flamer templates, so you need to watch out for those, of course. So you might need to bubble wrap these once again with units around them, just to give them that little assistance. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, hopefully it was useful, and next we're going to have a look at the Wave Serpents. Although they're not an elite's choice, they are in that section of the codex. So Wave Serpents next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.